This video is brought to you by Ridge Wallet, a slim front pocket wallet available in carbon fiber and titanium. With more than 250,000 sold, a lifetime guarantee and free shipping, get 10% off with the code GOLDFISH at ridgewallet.com. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Challenger Deck Upgrade. So this week we're taking a temporary break from instant deck decks. Don't worry, the jank will be back next week. Instead, all this week, we are taking deck by deck, day by day, and upgrading the Challenger deck. So we've done Hazoret Aggro, we've done Second Sun Control, which means today is Vehicle Rush Day. So what's the best way to go about upgrading Vehicle Rush? First with $20. So you spend $30, get the Challenger deck, $20 more added in, and then eventually to the fully tier build of the deck. That's what we're talking about today. So Vehicle Rush itself is basically the Challenger deck version of Mardu Vehicles, and the upside or strength of the deck is kind of twofold. First off, out of all the Challenger decks, Vehicle Rush is the best one at being able to play the aggro game and play the late game. Like Second Sun Control, great in the late game. Hazoret Aggro, great in the early game. Vehicle Rush, because of how vehicles work, can kind of be an aggro deck, and you can just play like Bombat Courier, Toolcraft Exemplar, Scrap Heap Scrounger, kill your opponent really quickly, but you can also kind of play the control game to some extent with your vehicles, dodging a lot of removal. You have good removal of your own with Unlicensed Disintegration and Lightning Strike. The Paula can generate card advantage, so you can play early, you can play late. So if you kind of like to be able to do a little bit of everything and don't want to lock yourself into being fully aggro or lock yourself into being just control, then Vehicle Rush might be the Challenger deck for you. The other big upside or strength of the deck is it's extremely consistent. If you look at the deck list, essentially all of the good cards are 4-ofs, right down to Heart of Huron, 4 of the Mythic Rare. So you're playing a very consistent build of the deck, which means you're going to be pretty competitive and get the same type of hands a lot of the time. The downside of Vehicle Rush is fully upgraded, it's one of the lower tier decks of the Challenger deck series. The Hazoret deck upgrades to one of the best decks in Standard. The Counter Surge deck upgrades to one of the best decks in Standard. Even the Second Sun deck upgrades to like a kind of good deck in Standard. Mardu Vehicles has really just fallen off the map. So fully upgraded, you're not going to get a very top of the format deck. You're going to get kind of a bottom of the format deck, or last year's hotness. So anyway, let's talk about upgrading Vehicle Rush. And one of the unique things about Vehicle Rush is because it has so many good 4-ofs, there's not a whole lot to change as far as $20 upgrades with the non-land cards. So we just make some really small changes. We bring in a Braid, for example. We add in a couple of cut to ribbons, and then we have an extra Ether Sphere Harvester in the sideboard. So we move that into the main deck. So very minimal changes. The cards that we would like to upgrade into the deck are just too expensive for our budget. So we make these just kind of small, tweaking the removals type changes. And then we spend a majority of our budget on fixing up the mana base. So the mana base on the Challenger deck itself is not horrible for being a 3-color deck and a $30 MSRP product, but it definitely can be improved quite a bit. So we use most of our $20 upgrade budget to get more Inspiring Vantage, more Concealed Courtyard, more Dragon Skull Summits. Also worth pointing out, you could just buy another Challenger deck to get more of these cards as well, so keep that in mind. The end result is a deck that doesn't actually look very much different than the one we played in videos. The mana base is more consistent with some more of the good dual lands. The removal is like slightly tweaked. We cut it to Paula, we change up some of the removal spells by dropping the Lightning Strikes for Braids and Cut to Ribbons, but it's pretty much like a slightly more consistent build of the deck, and that's because Wizards really nailed it with putting the key Mardu vehicle cards in the deck already. But what if you want to go from the $20 upgrade upgrade to the full force Mardu Vehicles, what do you do for the optimal build of the deck? So the big thing here for the non-budget build is Hazoret the Fervent. Hazoret the Fervent is just super important to this deck. It helps you close out games. It's just one of the best cards in Standard. So weirdly, one of the options for getting Hazoret the Fervent is to buy the Hazoret Aggro Challenger deck. So keep that in mind. These two decks actually work really well together. You can use some of the cards from your Vehicle Rush deck, combine them into kind of an upgraded build of Hazoret Aggro, and then you can take the Hazorets from your Hazoret Aggro deck, put them in your Vehicle Rush deck. So there's some nice kind of cross Challenger deck synergy there. But Hazoret's a big one. It's expensive, 16 bucks a copy, but that is the biggest thing for the fully tier version of the deck. Otherwise, max out on the fast lands. You need all 4 copies of Concealed Courtyard and Inspiring Vantage. Very important to the deck. You can get more copies of the fast lands by buying more copies of the dual deck if you want. On the other hand, they're not super expensive. They're going to be rotating in the fall, so you can just pick up singles of them as well. Otherwise, the deck gets a big change in the sideboard with Chandra Torture Defiance, Angrass, Settle the Wreckage, Authority of the Consuls. So probably the biggest weakness of the deck itself and the upgraded version of the deck is the sideboard just isn't that good. One of the things that Mardu Vehicles likes to do post sideboarding is kind of transform a bit away from the aggro side and towards like a Mardu control or mid-range deck with Chandras and Planeswalkers and Wraths and so forth. So you can really spend a lot of money getting an ideal sideboard to Mardu Vehicles. So you don't really need to change too much in the main deck, mostly Hazorets and even better mana, but the sideboard can use a very big overhaul. The end result is a deck that actually is very close to the Challenger deck itself. If you look at this deck, Bombette Courier, Toolcraft Exemplar, Scrap Heap Scrounger, Veteran Motorist, Heart of Kirin, Unlicensed Disintegration, Aethersphere Harvester, PNLR, all those cards were already in the Challenger deck. So Wizards really nailed the main deck of this deck, making it very similar to the fully powered version. So you're basically adding Hazorets, you're improving the mana, and you're reworking the entire sideboard. So my advice would be, if you want to build off of the Vehicle Rush deck and turn it into Mardu Vehicles, I would probably pick up a couple copies of the Hazoret Aggro deck, because that's going to get you your Hazorets, that's going to get you your Chandras, that's going to get you your Glory Bringers in the sideboard, that's going to get you more Abrades, so it's very easy to upgrade that way. So that would be my plan for upgrading. Buy the Vehicle Rush deck, buy at least 2 or maybe 3 copies of the Hazoret Challenger deck, which is going to put you at about $120 altogether, and then all you really got to do is just fill in with a few fast lands for a few dollars, fill in a couple of sideboard slots, like maybe pick up an Angrath or something, the Authority of the Consuls, but you're really getting the entire Mardu Vehicles deck for significantly less than the $243 sticker price. So anyway, that's the way to go about upgrading your Vehicle Rush Challenger deck. If you got some more ideas for how to upgrade it, let me know what you think in the comments. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful and that you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.